welcome. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. And we're going to have our holistic nutritionist, Marilyn Vandenbrink, actually open up the session this evening. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Nada. This is one of my favorite topics, healthy gut, healthy you, because being a holistic nutritionist, I find so many health issues. The underlying factor is definitely related to digestion and to the gut. So this is a topic near to my heart. Myself, as you know, I was a migraine sufferer, and I didn't think I had any digestive issues, but I was one of those people that, I'd go to the bathroom every, like 3 days or 2 days, and the doctor told me it was normal. But I didn't realize that, as you can see on this sign here, that constipation is one of the major digestive issues. And also things like heartburn, gas, bloating, diarrhea, upset stomach. There's so many people who are diagnosed with IBS and they don't even know what it means, right? So what is faulty digestion? Well, some of the symptoms are things like, do you feel tired after a meal? Like a lot of people say, I'll eat and I have to go have a nap on the couch. Irregular bowel movements, less than one a day, or straining, or if you've been on a lot of antibiotics, that just wreaks havoc on our digestive system. And we're going to talk more about this later, but have you ever suffered yeast infections in the last year? And yeast can even be in men. It's something that can really upset our digestion, and also frequently experience bloating after meals. So why is digestion so important? Well, if you think about it, a lot of people think that nutrition is our diet, but all diet is what we put into our body. But nutrition is what our cells and our tissues actually receive. And digestion is the process that breaks it down so that our cells can get what they need into nutritional building blocks. And so what's the impact? Well, your nutritional status is only as good as your digestion, which is your body's ability to break down nutrients your cells can use. Because you can have the best diet in the world. Like I see people who have amazing diets, and yet you can tell they're definitely nutrient deficient. And that's because of that they're not digesting their food properly. So what are some of the statistics? Well, in 2020, an estimated 4,200 Canadians are going to be diagnosed with stomach cancer. 1,950 will die from it. 2,700 men will be diagnosed and 1,200 will die from it. And 1,450 women will be diagnosed and 760 will die from it. And you think, how many people do you know that have reflux or irritation or stuff going? It's so common. And overall, more than 20 million Canadians suffer from digestive disorders every year. And you just have to walk into any drugstore, you see all the walls of products, and you know that there's a problem out there. 1 in 3 people experience digestive issues throughout the day, and 91% of women especially experience bloating, diarrhea, cramping at least once a month, and 55% of those have that every single day. And they think it's normal because they've always had it. So what are the 6 stages of nutrition? Well, as I mentioned, stage 1 is diet. That's all the food we put in our mouth and supplements. Stage 2 is digestion. That's when we break it down. But then once we break it down from digestion, we have to absorb it. And that's stage 3. That's where the nutrients go through the lining of the intestinal wall to the circulatory system. And then stage 4 is where we transport it throughout the body. And then stage 5 is when it actually assimilates into the cell. So this is kind of in stage 6, of course, when we eliminate it, we have to get rid of all the body's waste. So it's kind of like an assembly line. If one of these stages is broken, we don't have proper nutrition. So just to give a little bit of an overview on our digestive system, the first thing we want to do is chew our food properly. And, there's all sorts of people say you chew it so many numbers or whatever. I say just chew it until it's into like it's really well dissolved. And what we're basically doing is releasing enzymes in the mouth. So we're starting the system. Then the stomach, that's where the food's broken down into smaller particles. And that's actually where we absorb a lot of our proteins and our minerals. Our small intestine, that's where the chyme moves here. And this is when, if it's in the right acidity, enzymes are triggered, and so that we can actually digest these foods. And if you don't have the right acid in the stomach, then you don't trigger these enzymes when you get into the small intestine. And then the colon, that's where all the leftover food waste and metabolic waste are sent here. The water's removed, and then the waste is concentrated, stored, and excreted. So Nada, why don't you cover for us Healthy Digestion 101?
That's for sure, because you tackled all the hard stuff. I get to tackle the food now, and I mean, we really, optimal health does depend on good food choices, but also the proper breakdown and absorption of nutrients. And Mary Ellen, I was one of those. And I shared this with you many years ago. I had really poor digestion, but I didn't know. I just got so used to being uncomfortable after I ate certain foods. And I'm going back 33 years ago, even more. My dad's a butcher, and I grew up on red meat, a lot of it, and I eat very fast, which is some of the worst things you can do for digestion. And as time went on, I developed this like constant pain, kind of shooting pain in my stomach. And I just got used to holding it in. And then when I went to a presentation on digestion that was Neil Life had featured, I listened to this and I thought, wow, that's me. I didn't, wouldn't even think that I had poor digestion because I had a healthy diet. Okay. And I wasn't breaking down the proteins and the carbohydrates, which led to allergies. I had really bad allergies. I was using antihistamines year round, which worsened my digestion. So that was me over 33 years ago. So, and a good balance of a healthy gut flora is also really important. And that's something that I did not have. Okay. And healthy elimination, I was okay in that area, but it kind of flip-flopped a little bit. It wasn't fluffy floating like we're going to talk about a little bit later, right? Your stool should be fluffy floating every day. Okay. That's a healthy movement. So some of the common problems with digestion and some of the issues that happen. Some of the symptoms are heartburn, I say northern gas, southern gas, right? A bit of bloating, again, diarrhea, constipation, and upset stomach. The common problems with digestion is too little hydrochloric acid. A lot of people think that when they have this heartburn, that it's too much acid, but it's actually not enough hydrochloric acid, and your body makes that acid when you don't have enough good acid. Overburdened enzyme supplies, too little lactase, unbalanced intestinal flora, not enough fiber in the diet, and stress, believe it or not, really causes an imbalance as well, and can cause issues to your digestive system as well. And some of the factors that impair digestion, yes, poor eating habits. As we get older, our enzymes get weaker, our hydrochloric acid gets weaker, stress has a big factor as well, excessive alcohol consumption and smoking, illness and disease, okay, because sometimes you're having to take medication for those conditions as well, right? So certain drugs and antibiotics and genetics. So these are all the factors that can cause issues with digestion. So stress is a huge problem, especially now. You hear so many people having trouble with sleeping and, muscle tension. They're uptight, they get headaches because they're not sleeping properly, digestive problems, again, fatigue. And this all can lead to, what are people doing? They're drinking more, there's a bit more anxiety. A lot of people are struggling with depression, high blood pressure, even cardiovascular disease. They're not exercising, which is also causing a lot of problems, and certain gastrointestinal diseases, some cancers, and premature aging. So this is everything that stress does to the body. Okay, so we really need to take care of ourselves because it really does give us a compromised immune system. So what are people doing? They're masking the problem with over-the-counter medication. So, gastrointestinal medicine is the third largest mega category, contributing approximately over 4 billion in sales annually. Okay, so it's crazy. Tums, Rolaids, antacids, and prescription medication. So that only addresses the symptoms and gives you temporary relief. And it often makes the underlying problem even worse because now you're masking the problem. The body's no longer able to absorb nutrients. So your immune system is actually getting weaker and weaker. Okay. And it can be harmful long term. So, you know what? Our goal is just to say no to drugs. Now, what's really nice about what we're going to talk about, if you are taking medication, you know, when you start doing natural things, it's okay to still be on your medication. And our goal is eventually for you to work with your doctor or listen to your body. We're able to slowly wean off some of the medication that you're taking. So those are the things that we're talking about. And nothing that we're going to be talking about is going to cure anything, but it's amazing how when you give the body the proper nutrition, how the plumbing just starts working properly. And that's what you want. You want to get the plumbing working, okay? But the problem is, who do you trust, right, Mary Ellen? I mean, you know what's out there. You've done a lot of research, and there's a lot of challenges out there with products off the shelf. Can you maybe share some of the information that you have?
Yeah, that's so true, Nada, because so many of the products, they just don't seem to work. And I find that there's, a lot of the names are the same, enzymes, acidophilus, but when they actually go in the system, they're not. And some of the reason for that is because they're not backed by a really solid scientific advisory board. Like the Neolife Scientific Advisory Board did put together digestive aids that provide complete and balanced support. So we're going to the source of the problem. We're not masking it by covering it up. They're formulated for natural digestive process. They address the underlying causes of digestive trouble, not just the symptoms. And they're safe and they're gentle and they're not addictive. And they only use the finest ingredients, which is so, so important because you want to make sure that they're whole food supplements that actually work. And here's a nice picture of our stomach. That's what we're going to talk about first, because this is the beginning of digestion, right? So when people have the heartburn and the reflux and all these issues, one of the things that's very helpful is the Beta-Gest. And what it does, it puts back in that natural acid. It's a controlled release of what they call hydrochloric acid, and it's a very potent acid. But what's nice, it's 100% plant sourced. It has acid-stable enzymes that break down protein and also lactose. And that's the sugar in milk that a lot of people have problems with. You see lactose-free milk and stuff like that. And it addresses the cause of indigestion again, not the symptom. And it maximizes that digestive potential, and it's not habit forming. And actually at the beginning, sometimes people have to take a lot of the Beta-Gest, but your system does balance out. So oftentimes, depending on what you're eating and your food choices, you don't need as much later on. And then the enzymes, that's for the intestines. So you think the small bottle on top is the stomach, and then the enzymes is for the intestine. And this actually supports the body's natural digestive process. So this helps with the gas, the bloating, the pain. I had one man, when he went somewhere, he couldn't eat at all because he'd get a stomach pain so bad, he would have to leave. And the minute he started the enzymes, it was like a miracle for him. He says, I just don't get the stomach pain as long as I take the enzymes before I eat. So a lot of people blame the food, but it's not the food, it's what our body's missing. And the thing is, when a doctor looks, he can do upper GI, lower GI. You can't see when someone's low in enzymes or hydrochloric acid. This is the body's natural systems to deal with this. And as we age, we produce less of this. So this is a very special formula that works in the intestinal tract to enhance digestion. And what's really neat is potent broad spectrum enzymes. So a lot of enzyme products just have one or two enzymes, and they're pH activated. So they work as they go through the system. And it's targeted delivery. So it has a coating to make sure it doesn't get destroyed by that stomach acid. And again, it addresses the cause, not just the symptom of the bloating and the gas and the discomfort. And it's non-habit forming. And the basics of probiotics, especially right now, there is so much research showing that 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So we need to make sure that we have the right bacteria there. There's over 500 types of bacteria, beneficial and harmful, but they should be in balance. And probiotics are a group of naturally occurring good bacteria that protect our health and well-being. They discourage the growth of disease-causing bad bacteria. And when probiotics are in short supply, that's when the bad ones start taking over. It can cause anything from minor digestive discomfort to some really serious gastrointestinal issues. So what's the benefits of probiotics? Well, number one, they strengthen our immune system. They guard against infection by improving innate immunity. And especially if someone has been on antibiotics. I know Trillium Hospital did a very big study. And what they found was that people on antibiotics, half of them got probiotics and one half of the people didn't. And the people who did not get the probiotics all got C. difficile. So that's because it protected against that bad bacteria. It promotes a healthy response to foods in infants and children, reducing allergy symptoms. And this is probably why I had allergies too, because I didn't have that good bacteria, having been on antibiotics as a child. Discourages growth of disease-causing bacteria, and it promotes colon health, and it can reduce your risk of colon cancer. And the bacterial enzymes detoxify these cancer-causing substances and support healthy colon cells. And how many people do you hear go for their for colonoscopies? They all have polyps and all this issue going on. Well, maybe they're lacking in this good bacteria. So the benefits: it improves digestion because it assists the body in the production of enzymes within the digestive tract. It also helps you produce certain B vitamins. One in particular is the enzyme lactase, which is critical for milk production. And if you don't have the good bacteria, you can't digest milk. And when adequate lactase is present, lactose intolerance, gas, flatulence, and bloating are minimized. So you think how many people are lactose intolerant right now. So it regulates intestinal function, very important. So it aids in digestion, helps release nutrients from your food, efficient metabolism. In fact, there's studies out there showing people who don't have the right gut bacteria are more prone to obesity as well. It inhibits the growth of pathogenic bacteria, helps us absorb minerals, prevents diarrhea. I had one poor client who she had she said her doctor referred to as explosive diarrhea. She would be in a store and she couldn't even control it. And when she started on the probiotics, it stopped, because obviously that's what she was missing in her system. And that's why none of the drugs she was prescribed were working. And of course, synthesizing B vitamins or happy vitamins, so important with probiotics. And Neolife's Acidophilus Plus is so unique. It's intestine targeted, and it's a comprehensive probiotic supplement that supports the natural digestive tract. It's whole food. It has 5 active cultures. And these cultures play, when you listen to John Miller about why they chose these 5 different strains of probiotics, it has so much science behind it. We couldn't even get into all of it tonight. And there's 5 billion live microorganisms. And this is not at manufacture, like most products are. They actually tested it, put it through the artificial stomach, and made sure that those live bacteria actually got down into the right environment. Very, very unique. It's a blend of 5 types of proven probiotics, and it has that gel guard coating, which is so important. And this is a real Neolife difference. Because of this gel guard coating, it gets through the stomach acid, it gets right down into the right area. And that's why we don't have to say how many billion of our product are at manufacturer. It's actually at source. And to give, there's a popular one in a drugstore that a lot of pharmacists are recommending. I know I've had a lot of people. And so I took a look at it, and it wasn't enteric-coated. It had 1 type of bacteria. It only had 1 billion active things at manufacture. So goodness knows how much would get down into the actual gut area. And it was more expensive than our acidophilus. So just because you have to really know what questions to ask for sure. And you can refer to our fast facts with our acidophilus as a guide. And one of our Acidophilus Plus is equivalent to 10 servings of yogurt. And actually, the 10 servings of yogurt, because it's not enteric coated, you wouldn't even get as much from it. And it doesn't have all the different strains. So it's so far superior. And I know, especially if you want to take 2 acidophilus a day, to eat 20 servings of yogurt a day is pretty challenging.
And Maybe mention that there's no effects of dairy. So people that have like sensitivity to milk or dairy, this would is not, they just culture the bacteria, right?
That's right. The bacteria is grown on dairy, but it doesn't contain dairy. So people with milk, like myself, I'm not very good with milk, but I have no problem at all with the acidophilus. And the aloe vera, one of my most favorite for stomach issues, is I even give it to my dog when she has an upset stomach, because it's so soothing. Because they show aloe, what does it help with? Constipation, again, immunity, supports normal blood sugar levels, respiratory support. I have a lot of people who have a lot of congestion, and it seems to really calm that down. I think too, if you have digestive problems, you create mucus and it comes up. So this is soothes all that, soothes the digestive system. It's also great for stress-induced discomfort. Because what's the first thing that happens when you're upset? Your stomach tightens up, right? That's where the aloe plays a huge role. It promotes healing, it balances inflammation. And the difference with Neolife is they use only the gel portion. Most products out there squeeze the whole leaf, so you get a lot of toxins. Plus, it has this amazing herbal, 3 times herbal tea blend that helps with digestion, vitality, and so much more. It has vitamin C, it has a glycemic edge to it. It's just an incredible product. And it also has some electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, because especially, let's say if you get a bit of a stomach flu, you lose all your electrolytes. And it's great to take even before you work out, because you can lose those electrolytes as well. You want to help you absorb your water better, and it's superior quality. And the benefits of fiber. Most people don't get near the fiber that we should be consuming. They say most people maybe get half, but I think some get almost none. Increased fiber with your meals can help you feel fuller, helps you lose weight, and it's safe and natural way to do it. And it promotes regularity. And the interesting thing is, I've had some people who have loose stools, and when they need the fiber too to bulk up. The thing with fiber is you start slow. You don't go like what it says on the bottle. Start with just a little bit and then increase slowly, because regular elimination is important, because it reduces the length of the time things are in the GI tract. So if you're not eliminating regularly, what happens is your colon starts, these particles start passing through, the little spaces open up, starts circulating through the bloodstream, and that's what causes allergies and autoimmune disease. So it's so important to eliminate properly. The Neolife fiber is all natural, all from food, from 5 types of dietary fiber, from 12 different whole food sources. It's complete and balanced with soluble and insoluble. A lot of fibers out there are only like bran, which can actually scratch the colon, and it's rich in oat fiber, which is very good for heart health as well. And the Neoplex polyfiber removes cholesterol without robbing nutrients, very important. And it only has 1 gram of fat per serving, no cholesterol or added salt, corn, wheat proteins, preservatives, sulfites. That's what's in a lot of the fibers out there for sure. And it's naturally sweetened and flavored. And then if you are like really bound up and you need a little bit of a help, the Neolax is what I call like a natural pusher. So especially, I know like myself, a lot of people, when you travel, for some reason, women, we hang on to everything. We always have issues. So this is a great thing to use at a time like that. Or, maybe, your stomach has got a bit upset or whatever. So it has special herbs that promote proper elimination and cleansing of the intestine. It calms and soothes stress tissues. So it's actually healing. It supports the ease of elimination by natural processes, promotes calm, healthy digestion, and it helps reduce gas, because if you are bound up, you do produce more gas. And it's also great for detoxing, which is so, so important. And you can see our detox program for a healthy way to cleanse the body. And garlic. Garlic has so many benefits. It's like, you couldn't even list them all. And the difference with the Neolife garlic, it has all the allium vegetables, garlic, onions, chives, leeks. It lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and infection. It's a natural antibiotic, right? Reduces blood pressure and improves cholesterol. The reason it works with blood pressure is because when you're under stress, the adrenals, press down on the kidneys and shoot the blood pressure up. Garlic is the only thing that will open that up naturally. It boosts your immune response. It protects against oxidative damage from free radicals. And it increases antioxidant enzymes in the body. Very, very powerful product. And then, of course, a natural antibiotic. And it has all the benefits of fresh raw garlic without the garlic breath, because it is enteric-coated. It's a state-of-the-art whole food supplement, and it has standardized amounts of allicin. Allicin is the key. If you buy those products that are deodorized, or they are just fiber, that's all you're getting. You need that allicin, but the problem is it does give a lot of, it can cause a lot of garlic breath or discomfort. So this way, with it being coated, you don't get that. So top reasons to detox, of course, remove toxins from your body, healthy immune function. It's a great jumpstart to a weight loss program. It slows premature aging, increases energy. It's great to help if you get a lot of headaches and irritability and food cravings and skin issues. And the Neolife Healthy Body Detox is so simple. You get 4 products and you get to eat all day long, but only fruits and vegetables, right? It assists the body's natural ability to eliminate waste and toxins and reestablish your gut in the proper balance. And it jumpstarts a healthier lifestyle too. So one of the issues I see a lot with my clients is candida, because normally yeast, which is good and bad bacteria, exists in harmony with other organisms in your body. But when something comes along that it changes that environment, symptoms start to occur. And everything we do in our lifestyle causes the destruction of the good bacteria. Things like alcohol, coffee, chips, nachos, preservative in foods, antibiotics, chlorine, tap water, all those things wipe out that good bacteria. So what are some of the symptoms? Well, one of the number one is that you crave sugar, of course. Loss of memory and concentration is a big one. Fatigue, people who are tired. I'm not going to read them all. You can look through the list, but I'll just key on a couple ones. I have a lot of people with bladder infections or urinary tract infections, asthma, respiratory issues, allergies, people who are very sensitive to the smell of perfume. That's a big flag right there. Sinus issues. That was me. It was all in my sinus. Terrible sinus issues.
Mary Ellen, this might be a good time to have Shelley Sheridan come on, because she had challenges never with her son, but it stemmed from her growing up, right? So Shelley, if you can share it, because you had a journey and it's quite an incredible story how you guys discovered what was wrong and how you're able to balance everything in both yours and Mitchell's body.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully my internet holds up. So put your hand up, Nada, if I'm breaking up here a little bit. So yes, when Mary Ellen was talking about the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, I had a lot of bad bacteria with candida. My choices in my 20s and 30s was a lot of carb foods, as well as a very sweet tooth with the sugars. And so I had a candida overgrowth. And what that did to me digestively was I had absorption just was not happening with my body along with a lot of these symptoms. And I remember being told at one point I was malnourished. And I thought, well, that's really weird, because I was working out and I was exercising. I ate 3 meals a day. And how was I malnourished? Well, it wasn't getting through with all of the issues that were in my digestion. And I didn't know this at the time, but it was passed on to our son through the birthing channel. And our son had issues all growing up. By the time that he was 9, he would eat food, and when he went to the bathroom, you would see the chunks of food, at the end, because it just was not breaking down. And he actually went to the bathroom every day. And I'd say, well, you're having bowel movements every day, but he wasn't clearing, and he wasn't breaking the food down, and he wasn't absorbing. And at 8 years old, we spent a whole year trying to figure out, because he had stomach pains, and ran a whole bunch of tests. They found out that he was clogged in his intestines, was given a laxative, and was told that he would grow out of it. And we just kind of left it. Well, when you say, Nada, that you're just, it's temporary. And it was, because by the time that he got to be 17 and 18, he then had irritable bowel syndrome. And not to say that everybody will develop into that, but because we didn't realize there were other things going on in his body. And he had a sweet tooth as well and loved his carbs. And then we had a bigger problem when he was 18. And even then, doing all of the test results, what we were told was, well, take your laxative whenever you need that, and figure out what your triggers are for the pains and learn to deal with it. And that's when Mitchell turned to me and said, I'm not living like that for the rest of my life. What do I need to do? So we started to figure things out and get things balanced with his digestion and figure out the answers. And now he's a strong, big kid, healthy. And yeah, so a lot of the information here, just starting at a one point and trying to figure out the root cause will be so helpful. So yeah, big digestive issues, but I can say both of us now don't have those anymore.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Awesome. Thank you.
So what can we do? Well, we all have this good and bad bacteria, but when it takes over, we need to do the yeast cleanse or candida cleanse to put this back in balance. And for the yeast cleanse, use 2 products, the acidophilus and the garlic. There's some foods I suggest that you avoid to speed up the cleanse: sugars, yeasty breads, crackers, cookies, baked goods, dairy products, fermented foods such as wine, beer, vinegar, soy sauce, dried fruits, nuts, anything that's high in sugar. And what you basically do is, for the first 10 days, you take 6 acidophilus right before breakfast, and you take 6 garlic at dinner time. If after 10 days there's a strong garlic smell in your bowel movement, that means the yeast is killed because they're having a battle going on. Sometimes you do get a little bit of a die-off as the yeast is being killed. So you just make sure to drink lots of water. Taking aloe with this, the aloe juice, I find is very helpful too. And if there's not a smell of garlic, then you got to keep going for a bit longer. And most people, 10, 11 days, it usually does come through, but I have had people go as long as 30 days. And then once the garlic comes through, you continue on the acidophilus 6 a day for another 20 days. And for maintenance, sometimes people will do like 1 acidophilus in the morning, sometimes a garlic at dinner time.
Mm-hmm.
Which works
absolutely,
well.
Mary Ellen. And I remember years ago when I started, sharing Neo Life, I had met some friends from school, and I mean, you guys know Michelle Carmichael, and she came up to me and said, "Do you have anything for yeast?" And I just kind of went, I was so new to the company, new to Neo Life. I said, "I think so. I'll find out." And she was one of my first amazing stories and testimonials, because she did that yeast cleanse, and she had been struggling since we left high school. And I think it had been like 5 years later that I bumped into her. And sure enough, she did the yeast cleanse and was able to get it completely balanced. And even to this day, she balances by taking 1 acidophilus and 1 garlic continually, because, she likes to have the odd beer here and there, right? So that tends to wipe things out a little bit. So now I'm going to share with you just the basics of nutrition and the 3 keys to optimal health. And your plumbing needs to be working, your digestion needs to be definitely functioning properly. And you need to also look at weight management, physical activity, and your diet. Okay, Mary Ellen talked about those foods to stay away from. And I like to say even those foods should be sometimes foods, okay, especially with holidays coming and special occasions. Then you can have some of those, those sugary snacks and sugary foods. But when it comes to supplementing, this is something that drew me to the company. I was scared. I was, I had a fear of taking supplements, and I didn't know, what supplements can do, because back then it wasn't something that young people, it wasn't common. Okay. It wasn't something that everybody was doing other than my mom and people that were older than me. But the closer I looked at Neo Life, the more comfortable I became, especially when I saw the results that my mom and my family was getting. The science is solid, right? Been around since 1958. We do have a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing, established in over 50 countries. We do have a lot of firsts in the industry and a respected scientific advisory board that work together in developing and researching and manufacturing the products. They don't just endorse the product. Okay, and that's really important. And John Miller, who is head of our scientific advisory board, who you see there, is going to be speaking live for Canada next Thursday. So you got to join us. It's going to be an awesome presentation. And also we've been published in several third-party peer-reviewed journals. We've partnered with several reputable organizations that have taken our products and done their own studies and published their findings, which is really, really important. So as reputable as, the New York Academy of Sciences and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, New England Journal of Medicine. So these are all reputable organizations that have, again, taken our products and published their findings. Another thing that was really an eye-opener for me was the materials that Neolife use to make their products, all whole food, non-GMO. And that was really, really, and back then they weren't genetically modifying, but years later, that's when the GMO movement started, and Neolife preserved the original seed stock so that they can keep that transgenic testing for every batch. And this is something they've been doing for many, many years. We're very, very proud of the system. So the foundation and the basic program that we recommend, if you're generally healthy and you have mild issues, sometimes even just getting on the Pro Vitality Pack really helps to get things moving, because we're targeting your cells and reducing inflammation, okay? So the thing is, we're gonna focus a little bit on breakfast, okay? This is really important, because what do most people eat in the morning for breakfast? Well, for adults, it could be coffee or nothing. It could be a big cup of coffee or several cups of coffee. Or it could be nothing. And even our kids today, right, are really starting their morning with sugary foods. And this is where the problem starts with digestion, is when you're young. Where is the protein? Protein makes enzymes. So if you're not getting good quality protein in your diet every single day, as you start to grow and develop, your digestive system is going to be compromised. And that was a perfect example that Shelley, the challenge she had with her son Mitchell, okay? So this is where protein plays such a big role. It's a perfect breakfast for the whole family. I've been drinking the Protein Neolife shake for over 33 years. My kids have grown up on the protein shake. It's safe for babies, for kids, for elderly. It's all natural, nothing artificial. It's easy to digest. It's a complete protein. It regulates blood sugar, gets your blood sugar in that glycemic control zone, vitamins, minerals, and it is a complete meal replacement. So for those picky eaters, those picky kids that don't want to eat in the morning, this is fantastic for them to start their day, okay? And you can make it simple with just a shaker cup and water and ice, or you can put it in a blender where you're adding berries and spinach, or, today we had it with frozen cherries. Oh, delicious, and the creamy berry. So many different ways that you can mix the shake. And again, nothing artificial. No high fructose corn syrup, no preservatives, no gluten, 90% lactose free, no GMO ingredients, and it tastes great. And Mary Ellen, these are your grandkids that have grown up on the products. And that's what's so nice, even with a sippy cup when they're little, right? It's such a great snack for kids. So we talked about a lot of products, and we have a variety of other products, not just for digestion, for joint pain, reducing inflammation. We have cleaning products and skincare. So we really have a total health and wellness solution to support every health need. Okay. But today, again, we did focus in on digestion. Okay. And I think, Joan, did you want to share a little bit about your, because I know you had a journey as well way back when, because you had allergies and had some symptoms as well when Mary Ellen met you. You have to unmute, hon. Sorry.
So thanks for reminding me, Mary Ellen, that I had a digestive problem. When I went to see Mary Ellen 25 years ago, I didn't realize I had digestive issues. I thought going to the bathroom several times with loose stools after breakfast was normal, right? I just thought it was just a bit of a gripe, and I never really checked to see if it was every day or every other day. So I'd gone to Mary Ellen because I had just finished my chemotherapy for breast cancer. And looking back, I realized, I'm just thinking about it, the chemotherapy created a lot of digestive issues with me. And that was one of my problems. And I think I had the problem before my diagnosis. So when you think about it, it probably depressed my immune system because I wasn't absorbing my food properly. And therefore, so it's sort of like joining the dots backwards. I realized where the problems arose. So I had a lot of stress at that time too as well. And you talked about stress affecting your digestive system. And I going on a program, taking the digestive aids and just filling my other nutritional gaps. It helped me a lot with my energy level. And as you mentioned, I had allergies, really bad allergies in the spring and in the fall. And now I no longer have them. Over the years, it resolved itself. And what I do is I never leave home without my digestive aids. So the beta-adjustin enzymes, whenever I eat out, I make sure I take the beta-adjust because you don't know in terms of the food that you're eating, because it kills bacteria, right? So even with COVID, I think it's a great idea to have the beta-adjust in case you inadvertently ingest, a bacteria, so right. And also if you have like a stomach ache, from bad food, it's amazing how fast it works. It works within 10 to 20 minutes, right? Or if you overeat, which a lot of us will be doing around Christmas time, it's amazing. You just feel so comfortable, after you've overeaten, and then you take some of the beta-adjustin enzymes and you're good to go again. So yeah, it's been great. One of the things I do now is the fiber. And what I was doing, I was just taking it off and on, right? But I realized I really needed it for my stool. So I'm taking it every day with my shake now. So, but
me too. Awesome. Thank you so much, Joan. I haven't heard your story in so long, and that's very powerful, because you're right. You forget the challenges that you had, right, in the past, because it's been years, right? And I even have to look back sometimes to think, what other health challenges that I have, because sometimes they're subtle and sometimes, time just goes on and you really do, you forget the pain, right? So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Really.
I think it's normal. A lot of people think it's normal, and that's the problem,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much again. Yeah. So those of you that have joined us for the first time and they're looking at, hey, how do I get these products? What's really nice about the Neolife Club is we have a membership that's free. You can join for free. As soon as you become a member, you get 15% off. When you set up an auto ship, whether it be for a Vitality Pack or the breakfast pack or some of the other products, you get wholesale price, a 25% savings. Okay. And when you go on auto ship, you can get all your shipping back in 6 months. So it's a loyalty program the company put together so that you can earn your shipping back as a loyal customer. You can also receive your health packs for free when you refer people in your family and friends. If you have 3 people that start on either the Vitality Pack or the breakfast pack, your products are free every single month. Okay. It's free to join, free membership, free website. There's different challenges. If you're looking at losing weight or improving your fitness level, we have a group where you can join just to kind of keep you accountable. And these are the health packs. So we didn't go into too much detail on these, but I want you to understand that, the Pro Vitality has your grain oils, it has your fish oil, your fruits and veggies, a multivitamin, which is kind of like the foundation for every cell in your body. Okay. And then when you add the protein shakes, that's what we call a breakfast pack. So most people start here because there's some enzyme activity in the Vitality Pack. The protein is there to help with digestion as well. So if you're just having some mild symptoms, the breakfast pack is a perfect place to start. And I always say, start there, see how you feel, see what it does. And then you might want to consider some of the other products that we talked about this evening. Okay. The Shape Up Pack is if you want to do a full out weight loss program because you're replacing 2 meals with a protein shake. Okay. So again, if you refer 3, you get your products free. Okay. So I just want to share, when I started using the Neolife products, I shared I was a police officer in Toronto and I wasn't looking for a business opportunity. But I realized after sharing Neolife and noticing a difference and having an impact, I realized that it wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it was the time freedom that I wanted to stay home and start a family. And initially the tax savings was incredible the first year of sharing Neolife. So whether you're looking at, maybe earning an extra $500 a month, 1,000 or 5,000 or more, the business works because the products work and people come back month after month, and you're really helping people, you're making an impact. And that's something that I really appreciated, being able to leave my job and joining this incredible company where I can really make a difference. So I'm really grateful. So it's been 33 years, and many of us on the call have built an incredible business. Mary Ellen, you were able to, to leave your job as well. If you maybe want to share a little bit about your and Henry's journey.
Yeah, that's true, Nada. When I got started, I was just interested in my son and my family's health. But when everyone started asking us what we were doing, I just started sharing their story, and I started building a small business. And I had a great job as a law clerk at the time. I wasn't looking for a business, but I had no time freedom, and I really was having fun with it. Like it was great hearing people call up and say they're feeling better and noticing a difference. And it just grew from there. And I just started, slowly attracting people who wanted to have better health and helping others, help people as well. And it grew to a business where I was able to leave my job at the law firm. And then my husband's retired now. We have a great life. I've spent time with our grandkids. We have done a lot of traveling, and we will be doing more soon again, as soon as things open up. But even so, we were not affected at all. With everything going on, and we're so thankful that we have our health, and also that we have our financial stability as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you heard Shelley share, her digestive story and Mitch's story. And Shelley was a teacher for the Hard of Hearing for many years. And Shelley, maybe you could talk about, because I love your Instagram post on that you're focusing on what you're doing now.
Oh, just in terms of transitions more than anything, changing from working to retired, from being a mom. I mean, I'm still a mom, but our son and daughter-in-law live on the West Coast, so empty nesting. And yeah, just making a lot of changes. And through all that transition, certainly I was a promoter with Neolife while I was teaching. And just the connections that I've made with friends here and the community was so huge when I retired. To have people who were like-minded and just be around, because we ended up moving as well. So neighbors, that were farther away, my colleagues were farther away. So this was an amazing way to stay connected, to earn some extra money, to stay to visit with our son and daughter-in-law when we can now, and also to have some extra income to use for some causes that are near and dear to my heart. So it's really, and to continue paying for products for myself and our family, and for some donations and things. But it's just been a really wonderful experience and positive energy, uplifting whenever we're around, Neolife and people involved with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, again, if you're just looking at using the products and giving them a try, we encourage you to join for free as a club member. If you're curious a little bit about the business opportunity, just ask the person that invited you on how you can get involved. And there's nothing wrong with starting as a member, using the products like some of us have, experiencing the product, and just start sharing. And as you share, the business can just naturally grow. So anyways, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm going to stop the sharing and stop the video, and then we'll open it up to questions, because I know there'll be lots of questions. Thank you again.